Welcome to the Lee Schools TV podcast. Joining us today is Suzette Rivera, Assistant Director of Recruitment for the School District of Lee County. Suzette, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, of course. So we're going to talk about the upcoming Teacher Recruitment Fair that is on April 13th. But before we talk about that, let's just talk about your position, Assistant Director of Recruitment. So what are your main responsibilities as a recruiter here for the school district?
So my main responsibilities as the Assistant Director in Recruitment is to really work with our hiring managers, and that can be school-based principals, directors, just helping them find the best talent for open positions. I primarily focus on teacher recruitment since that's our biggest or one of our largest employee groups.
And how many total teachers do we have working for the district?
So right now we have about 5,800 teachers working for the district.
So almost 6,000.
That's correct.
We are such a large district,
Yes.
so your job is very important. We're always looking for great teachers to bring on board with us. So we wanted to talk mainly today about the upcoming Spring Teacher Recruitment Fair that is on Saturday, April 13th from 10 to noon.
That's correct.
Here at the School District of Lee County main office on Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. So this is the largest hiring event of the year, correct?
Absolutely. So we have all of our principals are here on site for that big event, and they already know their projections for teaching vacancies for the 1920 school year. And they end up hiring, most of their positions at that event.
So how many positions are we looking to fill?
We're looking to fill a couple hundred positions. It really depends on student growth, but that's what we're projecting right now.
So a couple hundred positions. So we could really use as many people coming out, as many interested applicants as we can take, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what goes on at the recruitment fair? Anybody who's never been to one and is looking to come, what can they expect?
So somebody that's coming to the recruitment fair can expect all of our schools will be here. They're going to come into our hallways. Every school will be represented at a booth, so they have a table. Principals will be meeting and greeting with them and just sharing what their school culture is like. And if there's interest on both parties, whether it be the candidate and the principal, they can choose to interview that day and possibly be offered a contract for the upcoming school year.
So I'm assuming it's teachers for all levels, right?
Yes.
Schools are looking for teachers for all levels. What kind of candidates would you say the school district is looking for? Some characteristics, how would you describe the candidates that we're looking for?
The number one characteristic we're looking for is that passion for kids. We can teach you and help develop you with all the other technical skills, but really having that passion for students and the growth of their academic success is definitely the most important thing.
How about as far as what some requirements are just to be eligible to apply for a teaching position? Can you talk about that? Sure.
Since principals are hiring for the upcoming year, we want to make sure that the candidates that are in front of them are ready to go with certification. A couple requirements can be a student that's graduating from a college of education program, either now in May or this summer. Somebody who has a teaching certificate, whether it's the state of Florida or outside of the state of Florida. Also somebody who's holding a statement of eligibility. We can also take someone that has a degree outside of education but has taken and passed a subject area test.
Okay. And I know before they come to the recruitment fair, they have to pre-register online, right?
That's correct.
So how do they do that?
If they go onto leeschools.net, so our main page, there is a banner of different slides of pictures. If they find the picture with the students sitting on the beach with balloons, they click on that and they can register right there. And registration does close March 29th.
March 29th, so just a few days from now.
Yes.
So less than a week. So this is good for people to know in case they're interested. You just have a few more days to go to leeschools.net and register for the upcoming Spring Teacher Recruitment Fair on, again, April 13th from 10 to noon here at the district. Okay, so for anyone who is interested in becoming a teacher here at the School District of Lee County, who's maybe on the fence thinking about checking out the recruitment fair, is interested in a position, not sure if they want to do it or not, how would you, you're a recruiter, so how would you recruit them? What would your pitch be to interested people?
I would tell them the one thing that really sets us apart from other districts is the personal approach that we provide our candidates or incoming teachers, we really take it really seriously, their journey into their career. So as soon as they become a teacher with us, we work with them on providing the best professional development they can have so that they feel successful and they feel like they have the tools that they need to be great in the classroom. We also have a great academy coming up this summer. This is our 3rd year. It's called the New to Teaching Academy. So those candidates that we hire at the recruitment fair that do not come from traditional education backgrounds are eligible to attend this Career Changer Academy, where it's a 10-day program in the summer, and you can come and learn about teaching skills and what does collaboration look like in a classroom, what does classroom management look like. So instead of just giving you the keys to your classroom on the first day, you actually have 10 days built in the summer where you can learn those techniques.
And apart from professional development opportunities, what else about working for the school district of Lee County is great? How, maybe benefits wise, or maybe people who are coming from out of state, different climates. So what are some of the other things that you use to pitch to work for the school district?
Well, you definitely touched on a lot of different aspects there. So I would definitely start by saying if you're coming from out of state, the climate is awesome. Warm weather, so over almost 300 days of sunshine here. We also provide great support systems. So our first year teachers, whether you're brand new to teaching or brand new to the state of Florida but have taught before, you can be enrolled in our Apples program, which is our first year mentorship program within the district. And that program is where you have a mentor, and you also meet with school administration at least once a month to make sure that you're getting all the tools that you need to be successful in the district. Also, the school board pays for the employees' health insurance, and more information is on the website for that. But there's definitely just so many great things. There's always something going on in the community. There's always ways to get involved. It's just incredible. Do
you have any suggestions for somebody who may come to the recruitment fair, some good questions to ask while they're here?
I would definitely recommend them to research the schools online before they come. That way, when they come to the fair, they have a game plan. Because we have 96 schools in our district, it's definitely important for them to know which schools they want to target instead of, you have a short window. The fair is only 2 hours. So definitely come prepared with where you want to potentially land a dream job.
Yeah, and I know you're a former teacher too. Yes. So what would you say is the most important factor for a potential teacher when they're looking at a school? What are maybe the most important factor, or some of a few important factors to consider? To maybe they have a few options that they're looking at, and which when they're deciding which school they would like to work for.
Definitely at the recruitment fair, the one thing that you have to be careful of is you're not in the school building, right? So you're really just meeting with principals. But I feel like that's the most important factor when you're starting your career in Lee County, is making sure that you have that connection with your administration and making sure that that's the person that you feel like will help you through your journey of becoming a teacher. I know that I was blessed with having great principals that I worked under here in Lee County, and I started my teaching career here in Lee County. So I definitely take that into consideration, is to making sure you make that connection with the principal.
Okay. And if anybody has any other questions about the recruitment fair, where can they go? So they can go to the careers website on leeschools.net. They can also send us an email at careers@leeschools.net, and we'll make sure to provide an answer to them very promptly. All right. And is there anything else regarding the teacher recruitment fair that you wanted to cover? So we're also have invited a couple of our local chambers. So they'll be there giving out information regarding relocating to Florida, how that looks like. We also will have our certification table. So if anybody has any questions that might be lingering regarding certification or compensation, we'll have people on staff for that as well. But it's definitely a fun event. We have also a coffee bar that's coming. I think it's a Shift Coffee. They're going to be there, giving out coffee to our attendees. So that's exciting. We try to make it a really fun day. Cool. Yeah. And once again, Saturday, April 13th from 10 to noon, the Spring Teacher Recruitment Fair. So if you're interested in becoming a teacher and are interested in working for the school district of Lee County, definitely check that out. You have to pre-register online. And again, the deadline for that is March 29th. So you have just a few more days to take care of that. Okay. So Suzette, you said your primary responsibility is recruiting teachers, but you don't just recruit teachers, right?
That's correct. So we support, like I mentioned earlier, some of our other departments that may have a large employee group that also needs help in recruitment. So we support the transportation department in hiring of bus drivers, which is always exciting as well. In fact, we have an event coming up where we're going to be, doing a little bit of that. And then we also support any other departments that have certain specialized positions that they need help filling. We help provide them a specialized plan to help recruit the best talent to their department.
So what's a typical day for a recruiter like yourself look for, or is every day different?
Well, if I'm in the office, it's different. It's definitely, it just depends. We're either planning for upcoming trips, especially right now. This is our heavy season. So I'll be gone in the next couple of weeks to recruit up in Pittsburgh. But if we're in the office, we're either talking to our hiring managers, we're planning out for the upcoming year, what positions they're going to need help filling, also trying to see how we can best market ourselves. We're involved in the community quite a bit. So we attend different luncheons and different events so that we can help get the word out there that we're looking for great talent here in Lee County.
So Pittsburgh, so you travel all over the country?
Yes, I do.
What are those trips like?
They're exciting, but they're also competitive. So the teacher shortage is not something that's unique to Lee County, as we all know. It's definitely, bigger recruitment fairs that we're competing against other school districts. So we're always trying to set ourselves apart, make ourselves more marketable. We are, sometimes we are recruiting or interviewing, 30 teachers and try to give out offers of employment for the upcoming year to those that are interested. But when you are in North Carolina, for example, and you're talking to a college graduate and they've never thought about leaving, and so you have to kind of talk to them and help build that relationship and build that trust that, yes, you can come down to Florida and we'll make sure we take good care of you.
Yeah. I'm sure, the weather here is a big selling point for when you're out in different states and stuff. So, but when you're out, say in Pittsburgh or North Carolina, like you said, and you said it's very competitive, you're competing with all these other school districts to try to recruit talented teachers, other than say the weather here. I know we don't have a state income tax. That's probably part of it too. So besides those two things, what are some other selling points that you talk about to, that makes the school district of Lee County stand out or different from other school districts?
I always talk about our support that we provide our teachers. That's definitely something that, especially when you're talking to students or new teachers coming from out of the state, it's something they're looking for because typically they're coming down and they don't know anyone. So we try to tell them that we'll set them up with other groups of new teachers that are here. We talk about our new teacher social that it's hosted by our Foundation for Lee County Public Schools. So that's an event for them that kicks off the new year where they can meet new teachers as well. We talk about our salary is pretty competitive with other outside of the state of Florida. So we talk about that and obviously our benefits that we offer to our employees. We also talk about our wellness program. That's a big highlight in our district because that's something unique to us that sets us apart. That we have an employee gym here, that we offer classes at school sites. So, anything that we have to kind of, market ourselves is definitely out there and communicated well to them.
What kind of classes can teachers take part in?
So I know that through our wellness program, we offer some yoga classes. There is cooking classes, health classes that are offered at some of our school sites. I know that our wellness department, they do an awesome job with promoting that and they try to see what the teachers need and help market to them. Yeah,
and you can find more information on the wellness programs on our website as well, leeschools.net. So like I mentioned earlier, you are a former teacher.
Yes.
So about the support that's offered to teachers and, the camaraderie that you can feel as a teacher when you're working in a school. So can you just tell us, why don't we actually back up a little bit and talk about your background a little bit more. So you were not recruited from out of state. You were born and raised here in Lee County.
Yes.
You grew up in North Fort Myers, right?
That's
so
correct.
tell me about your childhood going through the school system
Sure.
here and the schools you went to. And
Yeah. So I went to elementary school at Hancock Creek, went to Lehigh Acres Middle, and then I graduated from North Fort Myers High School. I went to college at Florida Atlantic University on the other coast, and then I came back and started working for human resources right away in 2006. I was in human resources for a couple of years. I was in an entry-level job, and then I moved into a specialist role in recruitment. Then I went into teaching in 2008. I started out with pre-K special education and then taught kindergarten. So I started my career in teaching here in Lee County, so I got to see firsthand how that support was given to first-year teachers. I moved out of state. I taught first grade in New Mexico and in Idaho, which was both great experiences, but it's interesting because I found myself always comparing my experience in Lee County to the other districts out of state. The amount of support that's given here in Lee County is just, you can't compare. It's really something special.
So that's a great point, is that you have personal experience working not only for the school district here in Lee County, but other school districts as well. So I'm sure you use that in your recruiting conversations a lot too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm not going to make you mention any the school districts you work for by name or anything, because I don't, we don't want to badmouth any, but what would you say the differences that you saw were?
So for me, I worked in smaller school districts, so recruitment was not something, or professional development was something not offered too much because the teachers that were there had been there for an extensive time. So, not much of that was given. So here I felt like we definitely provide more of that to a whole nother level here in the district. I mean, besides having professional development, coming down to do professional development, we offer professional development online. So there's modules that people can take, which is nice for the employee. That's something that was not, I didn't have that experience out of state.
So how many years were you in the classroom?
So I taught for a total of 6 years. Yeah.
What, any fun stories or fond memories of your days in the classroom? Do you miss it at all?
I do miss it, and I still keep in touch. I had a paraprofessional in my classroom when I taught in Idaho, and her and I talk almost every day. She just sent me a picture the other day. I actually had 31 students in my first grade class in Idaho, so which is kind of unheard of here. I don't think we have 31 kids in our first grade classrooms. So she sent me a picture, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had that many students. But I guess, I don't know, the best memory, being that we were in a cold climate, I definitely had a student that decided to, stick his tongue on a pole on an icy day.
Wow,
so,
like in A Christmas Story?
Exactly. So that was I never thought that would happen. Coming from Florida, I just thought that was something you saw in a movie. So that was interesting.
Wow. So did you have to call the fire department like they did in the movie?
I don't quite remember all the details of it. I feel like my principal was awesome and he handled that. So I have a couple other stories.
Kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about from your time as a teacher or just recruiting wise before we move on?
No, I don't think so. I think, my job as a teacher was amazing. I even sometimes go back in the classroom now just because I miss it and I just want to go help and see the students. I loved that every day was something different. I loved working with students and helping them grow. When you start with students, especially at the elementary level in first grade, if you have those that have come with, mixed reading levels, and then by the end of the year, you see the growth and, hit those milestones throughout the year is just the most amazing feeling. And building those relationships with them and their parents, their families, their support systems is really a unique experience. It's kind of like your own little family when you're in a classroom, which is great.
So what made you want to move from the classroom to recruiting for the school district to bring other teachers here?
It's interesting that you bring that up. So I was moving back from Idaho to here, and I knew that the district was growing again, and I knew that recruitment was something that was coming back in Lee County. Being that I had experience relocating to New Mexico and to Idaho, I felt like I had a much better understanding on what a teacher would need that's relocating to this area. So I wanted to help support that with the district and that aspect.
Yeah, so you were the perfect candidate to be a recruiter here for the school district. Okay, well, how about, so you grew up here as well.
I did.
So what is it about Lee County, the Southwest Florida area, that you love that made you want to come back, having grown up here, and now you live here full time, work here full time? So what is it about this area that you have found to be so rewarding, or however you would describe it?
To me, the growth is exciting. I love that we're having all these great new, restaurants and businesses are coming and they're seeing Lee County as an area to come to. I also love the way we have different career pathways for our people here that work in the school district of Lee County. So beyond the classroom, there's other careers that people can get into as well. Those are, I would say that those are kind of my two most exciting points of coming back to this area.
All right. So some 5 personal questions here. So what is your favorite book?
So my favorite book. So I have a favorite like fun book. So that was Gone Girl. And then like a professional book that I read was called The Employee Experience.
Okay. So Gone Girl, I have not read the book, but I loved the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a big David Fincher fan. Did you see the movie?
I did.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really intense.
Yeah, not for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that movie. When the other book you mentioned was
The Employee Experience.
okay. What is that about?
So it's basically talking about the employees, how their experience in the workforce is, and how you should, kind of. We always talk about applicant experience and what the applicant sees, but also this one is focused more on the employee and what makes them happy at work. What do they need? What are the things to look for? And so.
Well, who's the author? Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's okay. All right.
It's in my car though.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie would have to be Remember the Titans.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's your favorite song or favorite singer or musical group?
So lately I've been really into Maren Morris.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's kind of like a country, which is really
Are you a country fan?
No, that's why it's so different. But I've been listening to her. That was the album I was listening to this morning on the way in.
All right.
Yeah.
Is she a up and comer? Or?
I think yes, she is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Maren Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you were growing up here, what was your favorite subject in school?
So my favorite subject was chemistry.
Chemistry.
It was.
Okay.
Yes.
Chemistry. No offense to my chemistry teacher. Chemistry was my least favorite subject.
Yeah.
What was about chemistry that you loved?
I actually had an amazing teacher my sophomore year of high school, Mrs. Lauder. She was at North High, and I don't know if she's still there, but she just made it really fun and engaging. And then I went on to take dual enrollment chemistry too in high school. So it was one of my favorite subjects. But
Do you do chemistry experiments in your garage or anything?
no, no.
Okay, and last one. So if you could have dinner with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why?
I would probably say my grandfather, who passed away in 2009. I would like to kind of just have another conversation with him, and yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that too. You wish that especially when you were little, you don't really appreciate the time that you have with, especially, your elder relatives.
Yes.
And then when they're gone, you wish, man, I wish I could have known more about them or asked them more questions about themselves. I think about that with my grandmothers sometimes too.
Yeah.
Were you close?
We were very close, and my aunt and I are actually doing some genealogy stuff right now together. So it's been like, God, I wish he was here so I could have asked him a couple of things about what I'm finding out about our family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just ask you one more.
Sure.
So I know that you mentioned earlier before we started the podcast that you have two dogs.
Yes, my fur babies. Yes.
What kind of dogs?
So I have a cockapoo and a poodle mix. So my cockapoo will be 10. Today's his birthday.
Oh,
so
happy birthday. What's his name?
Ace.
Happy birthday, Ace.
Yeah. And then Tully's my poodle mix, who I adopted from New Mexico.
All right.
Yeah.
And what are their personalities like?
So Tully is your very good student, he's a good boy. He'll follow whatever. And then Ace is my rambunctious one that is kind of very protective of me.
Do they get along, or are they?
They do get along, yes, thankfully.
All right. Suzette, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm excited about the recruitment fair. It's my favorite event to plan all year, and I hope to see many excited teachers there.
Yeah. How about one final pitch to anybody who's listening who may be interested?
So if teaching is something that you've maybe have thought of, but haven't really put into action, give us a call or send us an email at careers@leeschools.net, because we can definitely set up some time to talk to you. But we would love to see you at the recruitment fair, because this might be the opportunity for you to learn some more about how to become a teacher here in Lee County. Mm-hmm. And just do it. Don't hold off on trying on your dream job.
Yeah, we had Jeff Becker on the podcast last week, Teacher of the Year this year, and he Teacher of the Year, and he's only in his second year as a teacher, and he kind of did a little pitch on the podcast as well, and he said, if there's anybody out there who's just ever thought like, oh, I think I'd be a really good teacher, or I think teaching is something that I'd really like, but a lot of people just end up choosing a different path or end up doing something else. But he's like, if you've ever thought that about yourself, give it a shot. Just see what it's like,
Yeah.
and you'll probably fall in love with it.
Yeah, I would definitely say the same. Jeff and I had a conversation about this about a week ago because he's the perfect example. He was a career changer and he decided, I'm going to do this. And I've never seen anybody so happy as a teacher. He's just incredible, his energy.
Yeah.
And he says it too, that this has been the happiest he's ever been is, when he came into teaching.
All
Yeah.
right. Suzette Rivera, Assistant Director of Recruitment for the School District of Lee County. Thanks for coming on the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. And thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.